Alright guys, if you're just a fan of the channel and the Iron Man stuff, stick around to the end because I've done some really cool stuff on the torso. Now, I want to apologize to Millright CNC. This entire thing has just been insanity to me. It's been like, it started off as just like trying to get this return figured out, and then some things were said, and then now it's just gone way out of proportion with like personal attacks and going after one another, and I think it's just ridiculous, and I think it's awful, and I think it shouldn't be happening, and I'm taking full responsibility. I was the one who said I fired the first strike, and then it's been a bloody hot war after, so it's no good. It's no good. It doesn't do anyone any good. It is kind of like war, but not like the good kind of war, like where like Mao was fighting the Koreans, you know, and it prepared him for Chiang Kai-shek, and that's what allowed him to take it over. Not that kind of war. Wasn't that kind of practice war. More like the American Civil War, where everyone's just getting massacred, and there's like no reason. There's no reason for the guy, his name's Derek, for me and him to be going after each other. I mean, we both love CNCs, and I have one of his CNCs. I obviously thought he made a good CNC. I bought one. It's literally the most expensive thing I've ever bought. So we should be friends. We shouldn't be attacking each other. We should all hold hands and sing Hakuna Matata and just relax and stop doing this. It's just there's no benefit that's coming from this. Everyone's yelling at each other and commenting on YouTube videos, and it's not good. It's not good. It's not good at all. And I'd like to bury the hatchet. I'd like all this to go away. Like I said, I take full responsibility for everything that happened and everything that was said and everything that happened after all that shit. And right now I don't even care. I don't even care about the return. I just don't want bad blood in the air. I don't think it does anyone any good. I don't. I think it's just not good. It's attrition. It's not good. It's not good. And I apologize, and I want this all to be gone. So that being said, I'm going to go upstairs, and I'm going to show you guys some CNC stuff. Some CNC stuff. Just talked about CNC stuff. Some exoskeleton stuff. Let's go look at the torso. I've done some cool stuff with that. Oh, and I almost forgot to say, this weekend I'm going up to Fort Collins, which is where the Millright CNC is located, the power route. That is up in Fort Collins. I'll be driving up there, and I'm going to be assembling that with the components I have and putting it together and see if I can get this thing working. So look forward to that. I'm going to be making a video over the entire process. There's not a video online right now, so hopefully me trying to figure out the directions. I've read them through once, and they look somewhat complicated. Some parts were a little confusing to me, and I'm sure I'll have some trouble with some of it, and some of it looked pretty self-explanatory. So I imagine it may take more than a day. I know in the directions it said that to like plan out an entire weekend, so I suspect it'll take me a day or two. But I'm planning on going up there this weekend, leaving tomorrow night and going up there, and then hopefully over the weekend getting this thing hopefully fully assembled with the components I have, and hopefully it'll just work, and hopefully I'll be able to start building Iron Man components and doing all that, and hopefully there won't be too much more mess with this. So look forward to that as well. That'll be pretty exciting. All right, guys, let's take a look at this now that we got that apology out of the way. This, I think, is actually pretty cool. I wanted to make this the main point of this video, but I thought that Millright thing was really something I needed to address. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this because I do think it's actually pretty cool and it's coming along pretty well. For starters, some of you may remember, I'm essentially done with this, by the way, I should say, except for now I got to do that very complicated system that comes out for the up and down motion of the and then so this motion and this motion, so both in the frontal plane of the sternoclavicular joint, I guess in the transverse plane of the sternoclavicular joint, and then the frontal plane of the shoulder joint. Those all still need to go on here in both the front and the back, so that still has to go on here. And yeah, but I'm done with the main I don't know what to call it. I want to call it like the cage almost, like the main like structural part of the torso. So I'm done with the part that actually is like surrounding my chest, and then I need to build those parts that come off the arms to start moving out, which just happened to kind of arbitrarily be a part of the torso because they kind of, I guess it's not arbitrary because it kind of makes sense for them to be a part of that. But yeah, so you'll notice it looks a lot thicker than the last part, and as people have pointed out, and I definitely agree, it's going to be easier to weld because of this. I think for sure easier to weld because of this. And then the other thing I got rid of, which some of you had mentioned it might be a problem, and I also agreed with, this part that kind of overlapped here, I just took that out. I think that it might end up going on the Mark II. You know, we might be able to get something like that, but essentially there's like a cover. So these two parts, this is where the seam comes together, right? And there's going to be a pocket. Let me turn off the back of this real quick. So there's a pocket cut. Well, there's going to be a pocket cut right here if I zoom in, where you can see there's a pocket there. So that blue is all pocket, and the same thing is going to happen if I turn off this other one.
there. So there's these 2 pockets that get cut out, and then so those would be the female sections. So this would be a female section here, and then this would be a male section. And if we switch them like this, you'll see the opposite is here. You have the male section coming here, and then the female section right there. And so this is just a lot simpler. The reason I wanted that there's a piece that was kind of machined on the outside of this, and the reason I wanted that there is because I wanted like a little piece coming off of this to kind of so that the female part was like truly, or the male part was like would truly fit all the way into the female part. Perfect use of those words. But I ended up I think just having a single steel bolt going through here is going to be plenty enough tensile strength to keep this thing together. Because if there's a twisting force, you see, they can kind of pull themselves apart, especially on this plane right here. But I think this is going to be good enough. I mean, I'm probably not fighting anyone in this suit. Not this one anyway. Maybe, the Mark IV or something like that. But I don't think it's going to be the end of the world to have like an absurd amount of force there. I think just the compression of a single screw, and there's going to be obviously on the other side too, and then there's going to be 4 of them because there's 2 layers to this suit. I think that's going to be more than enough to keep this thing together. And the reason I had to do it is I wanted to keep it, but the main reason I couldn't is because these pieces, let me turn this piece that's now highlighted blue, which is the rotational component for the where it meets the lumbar, that needed to be there. So, and those bolt on, and so there's essentially no way for me to get this on and have that piece that would come over and cover that. It might make a full female part out of that. So there's just not really a way to do that. So I got rid of it. If you didn't know what I was talking about, you're probably like, what the fuck was that guy talking about? But there's a piece there that I deleted. And anyway, I think this looks pretty damn cool. I think before this gave me a lot of trouble, these parts in here, because these have to interface with the neck. And I think I'm actually probably going to end up pulling it off almost the first time, and probably with very little modifications on this in order to get it to interface with the neck properly, because you'll see this one is kind of concave and this is kind of convex, and that makes a really good gap in there, both for the neck exoskeleton to come through in here, and then also for exo muscles to run up and down here. There's going to be a neck muscle that runs from here to here, like kind of up by the ear, and then down to right in here. It's going to be one of the smaller size exo muscles is the plan. Ones that I haven't invented yet, so that's going to be a whole can of worms to open after I actually get the suit built. But if you're new to the channel, there's a chance this one might not end up being powered, or if it is, it'll be powered. It just probably won't be powered in a lot of spots. But there's going to be anchors, muscle anchors, exomuscle anchors for every single, for like full range of motion for the entire suit. And that's what these guys are, these drawings are. Those are me figuring out how to essentially put exomuscle anchors in order to give you like a full human range of motion. That in a powered range of motion, not just the suit gives you full range of motion, but to have it powered as well, in theory. But there's a chance that they probably won't all get in there, but there will definitely be some powered to this. I mean, at the very least, I got to put it on my bicep and curl like 200 pounds or some shit like that. But there's a good space in there now, and I think this will interface with the neck quite nicely. I'm almost positive it'll interface with the lumbar very well too. The neck is where it gets really tight. That's one of the hardest spots to figure out. This entire component, doing the torso, is the most complicated component of the entire suit, and that's usually why I start with it, in order to figure out the hardest shit first, essentially. So this is coming along pretty well. Now what I need to do over the next couple of days is come out and bring those parts that I talked about before, where they'll essentially terminate with the spot for where the arm will come in right here. So over the next couple of days, when I'm not doing that Millright build and stuff like that, which is going to be exciting too, I'm going to be working on this and getting that essentially the shoulder girdle pulled out and around. I think that's the word I've been trying to think of all night and not coming to me. The shoulder girdle. That needs to come out and come around here. So it will essentially be a joint right here. That will come out and be where the arm actually attaches to here. So that is the next thing you're looking forward to on the exoskeleton design. And like I said earlier, I'm going to be doing the Millright CNC assembly probably this weekend. Well, definitely this weekend. So you guys are great. I love you. Have a good one.